What's up? What's up, good people? It's your boy Carcino here, man. Let's talk about it. Wow, wow, and wow, and wow. That's all I can say. When they want to come get you, they come get you, don't they? Boy, boy, boy. Dave Chappelle monologue was one of the best monologues I've seen in a very long time. Must say so myself. Now, I want to be clear on this because I want people to understand where I'm coming from. When I look at all the missing pieces, all the factors in the equation, you're telling comedians they can't be comedians anymore. That's what's happening. You told the comedians, we don't like you being funny no more. Let that sink in. Now, after you told the comedians they can't be funny anymore, you know what else you did? You told the comedians they have to obey and follow this code that you guys, this invisible code you guys have set up, or you're going to find a way to punish them wrongfully too and unlawfully. You're starting to do that with everything, and this is supposed to be about inclusiveness. So now you could be punished just by the way someone feels. You see that? By the way someone feels. They feel like this. So now, because of their feelings, you can be punished. People are not going to like where this goes. And the way people think that, oh, this promotes this, this highlights it. Like other people are going to go, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. He's leading the revolution. It's about time we cancel the cancel culture. Who started that? It wasn't us. It was not us. But we'll get blamed for it. The Me Too situation. Well, needs to be tweaked a little bit, don't it? Because it seemed to only protect a certain group of people. Supposed to be a women thing, right? Women's rights. They don't say what race a woman do it. But I've never seen that group go and defend when it happens to someone of color in that race. Right? Someone color in the race, you know. I don't see a person of color represented well. I don't mean Latino. When they throwing that Me Too flag. Person of color say what happened to them, they get victimized. Ain't no rally for them. No signs, no hashtags. So you have told a whole group of people that they're not included. And based on Saturday Night Live, SNL, one of the biggest platforms in the world for comedy, the longest running, no matter who's not watching it, it never gets canceled. The show goes on. So, SNL decided, in their behest, in their hubris, to have Dave Chappelle on and host. Now, Dave was the subject of a lot of controversy. Woo, woo. Yeah, it was controversial. They wanted Dave Chappelle to apologize. They felt Dave Chappelle went over the line in the argument with the trans community, the Transformers. He went too hard on Optimus Prime and Megatron. They felt he should be punished. They just didn't know how. They wanted Netflix, cancel that man. Netflix said, no. He brings in too much money. Y'all better just get over it. So, Saturday's monologue. It was so different reaction as he pointed out what had been happening with Kanye West and Kyrie Irving. And he said some things that were like, wow, it went longer than I thought. And I was surprised that Lorne Michaels, who is so quick to ban everybody from NBC, didn't come out with a statement saying, I'm outraged. He happens to be a Jewish man, by the way. But what he pointed out was the biasness towards comedians. But it's not just comedians. This is happening with everyone, everywhere around the world. Unfair bias. So he pointed out some things, and he said he has friends in the Jewish community, and he does. And he said, there's two words you don't say, and nothing good comes after that. Nothing good has ever came from somebody that said those two words. So once he said that, they got mad. He just said, hey, there's a lot of you in Hollywood. I'm just saying. Not saying you run it, but there's a lot of you there. Like he said, it's like saying a bunch of black people is in this area here. Not saying they run it, but there's a lot of black people there. You wouldn't be wrong. Now, all of a sudden, there was a call for people like, we should ban Dave Chappelle. This is getting out of hand now. They're making fun of us. Now, here's where I get with that statement. And this is what they did and what they chose to do for the solution to the problem. They decided, well, let's get after Dave Chappelle. They sent one of their main people to get at Dave Chappelle, one of their brightest, Jerry Seinfeld. Let's get Jerry Seinfeld to comment on Dave Chappelle. They send to interview him Seth Abramovich. And guess what Seth is? And Jerry. Oh boy. So, to talk about, to your reply to the industry being ran by the majority view, and your outrage response is to have people all in the industry who are the same race as you actually respond and back up everything that he's actually saying. Jerry Seinfeld, right? Who just happens to be on Netflix and has a Netflix deal. Just like Dave Chappelle, just like Chris Rock. Now, everyone believes Dave Chappelle is so popular, him and Jerry Seinfeld are friends. They know of each other barely. But they have a middleman that they're really cool with, and that's Chris Rock. Now, Chris Rock and Jerry Seinfeld know each other very well. They're actually very close friends. Eddie, another close friends of Jerry. Now, they came right out for the Hollywood Reporter, immediately called him up and tried to come after him. Like they wanted to interview him about his book. They can give a damn about Jerry, his book, or his show. You're here to talk about what happened with Dave Chappelle in his comedy special. That's why you are here. We did not call you to talk about anything else. Now, in case you guys don't know, I follow comedy a lot. I grew up watching comedy. Before I even knew anybody was Jewish, black, white, or anything, I knew comedy and watched these shows like Don Wrinkles. Like I still watch Curb Your Enthusiasm with Larry David, and then you got David Letterman, you got Tina Fey, Jon Stewart, Steve Martin. It goes on and on. There's always been Andrew Dice Clay. We love the Dice. But my thing is, when has it became a problem for another comedian to talk about another comedian's act to someone who isn't a comedian? Period. So, anyway, the interviewer goes, the Seth guy. There was an interesting exchange in your book where you're talking to Dave Chappelle about Chris Rock has a real edge in that he speaks in pronouncements. You refer to this delivery using like commandments or in closing arguments. I love that idea. The comedians have to take regular thoughts and make them more extreme. Oh, yeah, for sure. We got to start that. It might actually be relevant, though. So he's trying to push them right in into the Dave Chappelle. Bear with me. So he's already going straight to Dave Chappelle. I was just watching Jon Stewart and Colbert, two of my favorite comedians, debate the Dave Chappelle SNL monologue. And I'm just curious where you fall on it. Did you find it funny? So you're already leading him. You just said you just got through watching Jon Stewart and Colbert, who happens to be Jewish. You're Jewish. And you're interviewing Jewish Jerry Seinfeld. And you just asked him, debate the Dave Chappelle Saturday Night Live monologue. And I'm just curious where you fall on it. Did you find it funny? You're not curious. You want him to make a public statement. This is being arranged so Jerry Seinfeld can come out and make a public statement. Jerry got a call. That's why this interview is happening. Then he says, I did think the comedy was well executed, but I think the subject matter calls for a conversation that I don't think I want to have in this venue. But it made you uncomfortable? He's telling Jerry he's uncomfortable about it, but it made you uncomfortable. It provokes a conversation which hopefully is productive. And is this the kind of conversation you would have with Dave? What kind of interview is this? Are you just gonna lead him down the damn road? Because you seem to have a close relationship with him. I don't have a close relationship with him. We're friends, and it's not a close relationship. He's definitely trying to be defensive like he's on trial. So Jerry stops talking about it, period. Once he sees this is going into a trial, and he's like, wait a minute. So they scratch it, and then they start talking about Pop-Tarts. So they went away from Dave Chappelle situation. Jerry didn't want to get involved at all. So he went to talk about Chris Rock, and after talking about everybody else, he says, I love everything Chris Rock does. I mean, like the guys he grew up that was like go for the juggler comedy wise. He loved those guys. But it was very weird to me how they chose that moment. And the title is about Dave Chappelle. They made the whole interview about Dave Chappelle. He spoke very briefly about it and then saw where this guy was going and was like, okay, this is your goal. We're going to stop this thing. Then he goes back to some Pop-Tarts. Because he's trying to get Jerry to make this statement. People, we got to stop the nonsense. How about you go after people that are anti-Semitic? Go get them. Because what you're doing right here ain't working. It makes you look foolish. It makes you look like the people they're describing you as. I've never seen somebody say, man, that person, he got an attitude problem. They come out and show you they got an attitude problem. Man, I don't care if you don't like my attitude. I ain't gonna say I got an attitude. I ain't got no attitude problem. Man, and they show you like, man, you got an attitude problem. Shut up. So if people keep showing you something, pretty soon you're going to believe it. I've never seen people show that they're exactly what other people are saying about them as their defense. That don't make any sense. They're like, hey, we know it's true, we just don't like it said. It's that the fact that's being applied. We don't like it being implied. Stop saying I have a lot of money. It's like, what? Do you have nothing else to focus on? Saturday Night Live monologue would be here and gone. Okay? But yeah, I just had to send this message out. Now, people are gonna make their own, pretty much their own decisions about what should they choose, what they like, the Willy Bobo. Now, let's get to the real subject here. Dave Chappelle monologue was basically just putting a mirror up to the world and saying, this is how stupid you guys are. Stupid does not have a race or religion attached to it. Stupid has stupid attached to it. And that's that. So you're either going to be stupid or not. But one thing's for sure. Two things for certain. You're going to understand what other people are talking about now. You're going to understand meaning. You're going to understand thoughts. You're going to understand these things. We have to stop acting like other people's feelings and everybody else, they got to think or agree with what we believe. And just because Jerry Seinfeld believes that it calls for a conversation, I agree with Jerry. Great. Let's have the conversation. Set it up, Jerry. Let's have that conversation. And you're right. The Hollywood Reporter is not a place to have that conversation. But you know how to get in contact with Dave. Very easy. You could set it up, and I'm quite sure Dave would have that conversation with you. And tell him what you didn't like about it or what was uncomfortable about it. Well, you're uncomfortable. Guess what? This is how black folks feel every day. Uncomfortable. Now, I've never seen a group of people who they know factually that we have been enslaved for hundreds of years. Centuries of this procedure has went on. Generations through generations. You've seen come and go. Centuries gone by. And after centuries going by, we know this is factual. We're only talking more about other people's inflictions and other people's tragedies. And our own tragedy is ignored. And it is one of the largest and greatest tragedies of this universe. And you act like it was spilt milk. Or why are we talking about that? Like it's a nuisance. We've grown so much since then. Move on. But have you moved on? Don't seem like it. So when you move on, we'll move on. How about that? You want to dictate to us our pain. You want to dictate to us when should we be happy? When should we be sad? Seems a lot like those old days, 400 years ago, and counting. Seems a lot like those days to me. What do you think? Now, why they always go get somebody? Like, I'm going to get my brother. Like, this is a grown man. It's like sicking the dogs on somebody. What does Jerry Seinfeld, what is he going to do to Dave Chappelle? He gonna run up on him? He gonna run down on him? Is that what you telling me is about to happen? We have got to learn to do better. Oh, well, thank you, sir. We are not doing well as a people. How about food? Shouldn't we be focused on that? I feel the food shortage. I feel that all of these things that were brought up in conversations that just now all of a sudden seems to be like at the wayside. What happened to those things? I don't hear those conversations anymore. I feel that we're wasting our talents. We're wasting everything that we have been given. Opportunities, the whole nine. It's just all going to the toilet, basically. It's hard to understand for me. You know, oh man, sorry about that. Reading this email, but we got to start like really thinking about the stuff we do and how it affects people because my gosh, how everyone feels really matters. How about you don't pay any attention to it? Remember when you was a kid, your mama would be like, "Don't pay no attention to them, ignore them." Oh, but it's dangerous to think like that. He's setting a bad example. Is he? I definitely didn't get that. Maybe I'm brought up different. You know, I didn't grow up waiting for somebody to come save me. You know, I grew up with the put your bootstraps on. They don't like me. I'll be like, well, as long as they ain't getting in my way, we don't have a problem. Now, if they get in my way, then we have a problem. So I choose not to deal in those tropes. If I'm Dave Chappelle, if he wants to have Jerry Seinfeld will say all that and don't say two words and won't say two words to none of them. So just let that be known. Jerry Seinfeld has no words, no smoke, none of that stuff for Dave Chappelle. Stop. He's only saying that so this thing will get spreaded to cover up because his people, the cowards that's behind him, that won't come out and say anything, he wants to say something. Like, we just don't like the inclinations. Like, come on, be serious. It's comedy. Everybody raved about what a great, funny show it was and how the comedy was great and funny. Now, all of a sudden, there is a problem with the comedy. I have no idea why anyone had anything to say about the comedy. Right. People gonna say something other people don't like all the damn time. It happens. So it's like you either get over it or you don't. But this is what happens in the real world. People say things all the time that are not on the off the cuff or what they say. That happens all the damn time. Why all of a sudden now this is a problem? There have been many egregious things done. Many. But it's always about we should care about other people's pain and not our own. When does that become the wave? We got to care about what everybody else in the world is going through. But what we going through, oh, we can get over that. That ain't nothing. We shouldn't even be talking about it. Yeah, that's just a small thing. Nobody care about what we going through. It's so meaningless to the big picture. See, your thoughts mean nothing. Every day people are showing you your thoughts, everything you're doing mean nothing. When in the real world, everybody has the same affliction. They all want to take care of their families. They want a better life for their children. That's all they want. It don't matter if you're race, religion, whatever. Why can't people move on like that? Why does it always got to be something extra? And they think it's us. That's the thing. We have made to be the victimizer. Some of these wicked people, they want to be the oppressor and the victim all at the same time. Let that sink in. So don't forget to subscribe to the page. It's your boy Carcino, man. Hit the like button. Like this video up. Definitely support at Kwame Brown Bus Life. Great live stream, man. I was listening to it. It's very educational. Live stream they just did with the whole panel. I was listening to that while I was sitting here watching the game. I don't like to listen to commentary a lot during the basketball game because a lot of it's useless. So definitely support. Thanks for everybody who bought the popcorn for the Saginaw STEM, for the pop-up store. Your donations is helping out tremendously, and we're going to give you an update to show you all what stuff that's been happening since you guys have gotten involved and been donating to the Saginaw STEM program. So hopefully you enjoy that, seeing what your work is being doing, and the progress that has been made is tremendous. Now, on top of that, I'm going to say thanks for the cash apps that you guys are doing. Definitely, it's in the banner, I believe, below, but at Carcino or $Carcino, that's what it is, $Carcino on Cash App. Absolutely. Someone says, "Do you have a PayPal?" I'm like, yeah, I do, but most people don't ask for my PayPal. But yeah, that's definitely on there, and because of that situation and those other situations, we are good here. Just want to say shouts out to Ticket TV, Welcome to HD TV, Boxing and Basketball. Um, did I say Welcome to HD TV already? I think I just did. Seahawks, Jose Rodriguez's channel, Dreamers Pro. Shouts out to his channel. Damn D, Sister T, Queen Regina. I did say Kwame Brown 2.0 earlier, I believe. Support the real. All those who's keeping it real out there. Definitely support and show love to their channels. There's a lot of people with something to say. And a lot of them stopped by here, so I appreciate it. And that's about it. I'm out.